Have you ever felt guilty for being true to yourself? What if the noblest thing you could do was to stop apologizing for following your path, for honoring your limits, for simply existing as you are? In this episode, we open a raw and revealing note from Old Billy 1 that challenges the very idea of sacrifice, nobility, and people-pleasing. It's not a manifesto for selfishness. It's a permission slip for self-alignment. Because sometimes the greatest betrayal is the one we commit against ourselves in the name of serving others. A powerful metaphor emerges. A mighty ship, stranded because its captain abandoned the helm for all the right reasons. But what if staying your course was the only way to truly serve? This is not about asking for forgiveness. This is about finally realizing you never needed to. This is Note 0T1, license not to ask for forgiveness. And it might just be the moment you stop saying sorry and start saying yes to who you really are.
When the fog descended, silence settled over the village after the discovery of Old Billy's departure. His notes were left stacked, serving as entertainment for the locals who chose to share them with others.
License not to ask for forgiveness. The strength of the habit of nobility can push us to apologize for being truthful. Every time this noble person thought about pursuing his dream of communicating the living life, he was overwhelmed with guilt for not putting others first. It is disheartening to realize that this sense of social responsibility can sometimes lead a person away from their own soul. Even worse, when acting out of alignment with oneself, no one can truly meet the expectations of others. In a paradoxical twist, the noble person discovered that to be genuinely altruistic, one must first embrace self-alignment. Curiously, even without prioritizing himself, many had already labeled him as selfish, an unfair judgment that caused deep pain. No matter how much he dedicated himself to serving his loved ones, they always resented him for not meeting their expectations. In the moments when he was absent or unable to fulfill demands, his limitations were seldom understood. Instead, he was often accused of being lazy, irresponsible, or neglectful. Yet today he can also recognize that everyone carries their own limitations just as he carries his. For years, whenever he tried to express his anguish, a recurring image would surface in his mind. A magnificent, well-built ship stranded on a sandbank near a deserted beach. Part of the ship was touched by the waves, yet the waters were not strong enough to free it. An imposing symbol of power rendered motionless. Each time this image appeared, he imagined a new reason for the shipwreck. Yet one element remained constant. The captain had left his post for some noble reason, stepping away to assist someone else. Had he remained steadfast, had he prioritized his role over external expectations, the ship would still be navigating the seas, generating resources that could, in turn, help many more people. This realization did not come easily. At first, it seemed absurd, even selfish. But upon deeper reflection, it became clear. Without a stable foundation, no one can truly give their best to others. There is much talk about self-love, but there is also the responsibility of self-alignment, a principle that, when honored, silences the misplaced guilt that compels us to apologize for simply being true to ourselves. Personal integrity fosters authentic service. Those who betray themselves, no matter how noble their intentions, ultimately undermine their own effectiveness. To navigate life fully, one must embrace both the light and the shadows it casts. True impact does not come from denying parts of ourselves but from integrating them. The key is not selfishness in its conventional sense, but rather the wisdom to understand that prioritizing one's own course is what makes sustainable giving possible. We should not apologize for being responsible for who we are.
This is a powerful and insightful exploration of the complexities of self-alignment, altruism, and the often misplaced guilt that can hinder personal growth. Here's a detailed analysis. Challenging conventional notions. The text effectively challenges the traditional view of altruism, suggesting that true service to others begins with self-alignment. It confronts the idea that nobility can lead to self-betrayal. Powerful metaphor. The image of the stranded ship is a potent metaphor for the consequences of neglecting one's own path. It effectively conveys the idea that abandoning one's purpose can lead to stagnation. Honest self-reflection. The author's candid sharing of personal struggles and insights creates a sense of authenticity and relatability. The acknowledgement of the pain caused by unfair judgments is very impactful. Emphasis on self-alignment. The text clearly articulates the importance of self-alignment as a foundation for genuine service to others. It highlights the distinction between healthy self-prioritization and harmful selfishness. Exploration of guilt and responsibility. The text delves into the complexities of guilt, particularly the misplaced guilt that can arise from pursuing one's own path. The idea of the license not to ask for forgiveness is very strong. Thought-provoking paradox. The paradoxical twist that, to be genuinely altruistic, one must first embrace self-alignment is a central and compelling theme. Philosophical and psychological undertones. The text touches on existential themes, questioning the nature of responsibility, the cost of people-pleasing, and the necessity of self-acceptance. The mention of contradictions, shadows, and light suggests a Jungian influence, acknowledging one's whole self, including imperfections, as part of genuine growth and contribution. Call to action. Self-responsibility as liberation. The conclusion is empowering. Personal responsibility leads to authenticity, and authenticity ensures meaningful impact. The final statement. We should not apologize for being responsible for who we are. Reinforces the main message that self-loyalty is not an act of selfishness, but of integrity. This text is a deeply insightful and thought-provoking exploration of self-alignment, altruism, and the complexities of personal growth. The author's use of metaphor, honest self-reflection, and challenging conventional notions makes this a powerful and resonant piece.
This is a deeply introspective and thought-provoking piece that challenges conventional notions of nobility, duty, and self-sacrifice. It successfully argues that true generosity and effectiveness come not from endless self-sacrifice, but from a well-balanced, self-sustaining approach to life.
Well said, Ava. Thanks, Brian.